We are now inside this amazing, cool, tiny house. Let's talk about the storage in here. You have done some really amazing things, Bill.
Well, we have to utilize shelving. We have to use cabinetry, standard cabinetry. We even have some hidden...
Love that! Hidden storage. Look, and it goes all the way deep.
Oh yeah, every tread that has space below it. You have 4 like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is right over that cabinet, and this one is over this cabinet.
So you really spend a lot of time thoroughly thinking about everything, because when you live in a tiny home, you still need things with you, and you've got to have a place to store them.
My son Billy always goofs with me, and he says, "Dad, you spend 3 days drawing a cabinet that he builds in 2 hours," and it's really the truth. I first think about it. Then I sit down with a graph paper and a cup of coffee and a cup of coffee.
Coffee.
And I try to do it to scale so that it makes sense, because I may have it in my head, but then Billy has to be able to make it 3-dimensional.
I love the fact that you added the shelves. I think that was a great feature because, and I also noticed you've got an area that you can actually put, it's depth. You can put boxes up there, baskets, different ways to actually store clothing or whatever else you might need. The other thing is the stairs. It's such a great use of space, and the fact that it's so deep. I would put storage bins and boxes in there, label them, and then when you need a specific thing, you pull it out.
As someone decides to take it or they're ready to move in, we get a bunch of hooks. Like if they have a specific bicycle, as they're picking up their house, we'll say, bring all the weird stuff you may have, skis, hooks, snowshoes, and we figure out straps and hooks and places for them to hang from the ceiling, because they have to use all the surface.
Every space. The other thing, this is amazing, being able to reduce the table, close it down, put a small couch here, and then when you want to eat, you bring up the table.
This table reduces just by unscrewing the leg and it folds down.
Let's talk about what you do with the solar panels.
Well, this one in particular is completely off the grid. If you have propane and you bring your water with you, this one has its own water storage, and you have the 2,000 watt solar system, you can really be autonomous. You can be completely off the grid. You can use the compost toilet. You can get rid of your gray water responsibly. Gray water, like your dishes, your shower, which is really not that many pollutants.
Right.
And then your propane you use for heat, or you can use for cooking. Electric from the solar can run the air conditioning or the heat, because it's a twin unit. It does heating and electrical.
Great.
All your lights can be off the solar, and your TV,
you just go.
Everything, yeah, right.
Yeah, amazing. Well, Betsy and Sue are going to come in and give you some tips about other parts of the tiny house and how you can get organized. You don't want to miss this part.
So here I am up into the bedroom loft area of the tiny house, and it's actually much bigger than it looks from down there, because I can sit on the bed without touching my head, which I didn't think was possible. We're going to talk a little bit about storage up here. They do have some shelving cubbies built into the walls for storage, which is really great, but there's all kinds of space that we can use. These walls right here, I'm thinking the same goes on the other side of the bed, where you could put some shelves to put your alarm clock, to put a radio, to put whatever, your books that you read. There even seems to be a little bit of space on the floor on the sides of the bed, which I'm sure that you could either store some shoes or some clothing, maybe purses if you're a female. There's a lot more storage here than you think, and I'm really impressed with how much space you feel like you have and how airy it is up here.
Another great way to hide and create more storage is using this amazing barn door. What a great idea.
And another tiny house tip is placing magnetic strips under your cabinets for utensils and silverware. This also is good for a tiny kitchen in an apartment.
You can even have a full-size shower and a tub in a tiny home. Amazing. I don't want to say compound. I like compound, but it's your warehouse. It's your building.
Later on in the show, we'll be up at the Bear Creek Tiny House Workshop, where you can see Bill and his family building tiny houses.
What he just said. Follow us on Pinterest at Declutter Coach.